Season 2 of the Global Detection Adventures podcast. I'm Lance, and here comes Dave.
We are back. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Season 2 of the Global Detection Adventure podcast. More fun, more guests, and more great metal detecting talk. I'm your seasoned co-host with a lot of salt and pepper, Dave D, live in the XP studio of Green Bay, Wisconsin. And joining me in the Black ADA studio of Schweinfurt, Germany, the host with the most, Lance Magic Goolsby.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like that name. You know, after it was about 10-15 minutes, we had a little bit of a delay. But you know what? With all these technical issues of doing a live show, I think I was really able to get right through it and cut through it like butter and get everything up and running. So
it was like defusing a bomb. You were like, the last second, you got to get this live, and you cut the wire just at the right time.
In a way, it does kind of remind me of the film Hurt Locker, at least the hurt part.
Well, we have a great show planned for our GDA family. We have special guests appearing on our show today. Frank Lopergolo, he's the main man behind Detect America, and he will be joining us, and I'm really looking forward to talking to Frank. We're going to get a call in from Joey Ortega and Brian Gorby. They were our winners of the 2016 Best of Finds. Then we're going to talk about some of the prizes that they got in the contest, and we'll also be talking about what's going in, what we have in store for Global Detection Adventures in 2017. And I'm kind of looking forward to this. Our team member, Patrick White, he's out right now in the field looking for a time capsule.
Yeah.
A woman called him. Her late sister buried a time capsule 20 years ago. So he's going to try to find that, and if he gets any information, he will be calling in on that. So that's going to be we got a really top show.
Yeah, we got a really good one lined up today. A lot of stuff has gone over. Man, you know, this is the kind of stuff I'd edit out on post. You know, my mush mouth that seems to be going on.
Yeah,
but anyway.
You need to sip a couple slugs of beer there.
Well, normally I'd have a little gin and Coke, but I got to go to work tonight at 10 o'clock, so I'm not going to be doing that. That might be a little hard driving around in a forklift with that.
All right. Well, you know what? I want to go before we talk to Frank. I want to talk about a little XP experience that I had. You recently know I took a trip out to California to meet up with a detecting team member of GDA, comedian Todd Roy, and we had a really good time. We'll have some audio of that. We'll be playing that in a second. But you know, my big concern was, you know, flying out with my detector. You know, I was like, is this thing going to get damaged? Is they going to lose it? You know, because if any one of those two happen, I'm like, you know, the whole trip is blown. You know, and there's nothing you can do. But I didn't have one worry at all, because with the XP, I was just, you could break this thing down. It is so light and it is so compact. It could almost fit in a briefcase, really.
Oh yeah.
But you can get it on any carry-on, and then I knew it was safe because it was really with me throughout the flight. So that, you know, that was my big concern. My second big concern is, you know, I'm going to go all the way out there. Are we going to have a really good site to detect? Todd did some recon, and he picked out a site in Santa Barbara, California. He drove up to meet me about halfway, and I drove the rest of the way. And we got permission from the park ranger, Joe, and we have some audio of that meeting. And you know, if you want to roll that, Lance, you can see what happened out there.
All right, here it goes.
It's the day's experience.
David came out here to help me metal detect and learn to use the XP Deus a little bit better, because he's seen some of my videos where all I keep finding are nails and bottle caps.
I was getting really bored of that, you know, so yeah. I had to do it. There was no way around it.
You're not the only one getting bored of that. So, now what sucks is this video will probably go up before part 2 of volume 4, which means I won't be able to use the information that you're teaching me until after the whole New Dale Mining District video is like done and finished. We did spend the day here today at this park, which is beautiful. We did some detecting. You showed me how to set this thing up correctly. We even Skyped in with Gary at
XP in the UK, and he gave us some helpful tips and how to control our machines in the ground that we're searching on right now. It's a little bit sandy on the top, and then you get to the nice dirt. A little bit trashy, but that's typical for a park that's over 100 years old, that's been in use for that long.
Yeah, hold on for that for 1 second here.
Show all those wonderful finds.
Well, no, but here's the thing.
You did find coins.
Yeah, this is the thing. I did manage to actually find today some coins. And not only that, I could tell, because of your help and Gary's help, I could tell when it was a bottle cap, when it was another bottle cap, or when it was a pull tab. Even though I dug them up, I had a pretty good guess what they were going to be. And we did actually find some nickels and some coins, which, if you watched any of my videos, you'll know that's incredibly rare. Now, they're not silver, but they're still coins, damn it. Yeah, so here's the thing that sucked. I've gone to places like Newdale, and I dug up a lot of trash, but now I understand how to set this machine up so that you can only really find these targets, and you can start to ignore the pull tabs or the nails or things like that.
So we learned a few things today too. I showed him exactly how to pinpoint by moving your coil back, and also to lift your coil, not only to get the sort of depth that you're looking at with the target, but also to find out if that 9192 is really a 9192. So as you lift your coil up, if that 9192 changes, most likely it's going to be a sort of trash find.
Yeah, so this is we spent the day out here detecting some of these fields here at this park. This is a 100-year-old park. Mm-hmm. We talked to the ranger. He was cool with it. He's a fan of the show now. Gave him a card. He went and watched the videos. He's like, "You're hilarious." So that happened. And like I said, I'm really hoping, because I plan on in a future video to go back to the Newdale mining district, to some of the other mines. But now I feel that I will find something relic-worthy up in those locations, because they're great locations. I just didn't know how to use this as well as I do now. So guys, I just want to thank David and everybody at Global Detector. What is it, the podcast?
Really?
What is it?
Aren't you a team member?
I am. I'm drawing a blank right now.
It's Global.
We'll edit this part out.
We'll keep it in, because I want to know what the kind of guy this is. Global Detection Adventures.
That's right. Okay. Try a second version. I want to thank Gary and David here and Lance at Global Detecting Adventures. Got that one right that time. For coming out and actually helping me and giving me some expertise.
Oh, while I'm here, I'm going to give you a little plug for Global Detection Adventures, the podcast.
Yeah.
With Lance Goolsby and myself, Dave D. You can listen to us every other week, and we will fill you in. Sometimes we even have guys like this on the show, just to make it a little bit brighter.
But here's the thing: if you're a new metal detectorist, have faith that if you're incompetent enough, help will soon arrive. That is what I learned. That is what he has taught and reinforced in me, because I posted some videos where I struggled, and all of a sudden, the community helped.
And from an expert, probably one of the biggest tips is when you're charging your coil, make sure that clip is really, really tight on there and it's actually charging, because you can come all the way out here to California, detect in the park, and your coil goes out, and then you're done for the day. And then we got to do stuff like this for filler.
Yeah.
So, Gary, I just want to thank you, and maybe you can send me one of those car chargers so I can do it on the spot, and maybe a coil, pinpointer, whatever you got in your little goodie bag. Send it this way.
I wear a size large, and I like earth tone colors.
Do you have an XP hat yet?
No.
Not? Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, what's up with that? Anyway,
I don't know. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah. It must be a big deal for you to meet me.
Yeah, this is the first really movie star I met in California. Yeah. And I'm
so sad. This is your benchmark. But right out of the YouTube window into your life, David.
So, appreciate it. And like you said,
sorry, I have polio.
Friends for life.
See how he reacted. We're gonna freeze frame that, because the look of horror on his face when
he's like, I gotta sand those club hands.
Anyways, guys, thank you very much.
Okay.
Oh, great show. I can't wait to see that video.
Yeah, it was really great to meet up with him. He's a talker, and he's entertaining. He's like that in person too. He's a really bright guy, and he's got a lot of things going on right now. And hopefully he'll come out this way and we'll maybe get a little more detecting coming in. But we're going to take a little break right now. You're listening to the Global Detection Adventure podcast, and when we come back, we're going to be with our guest, Frank Lopergolo of Detect America.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after these messages.
All right. And, let me just say this real quick. We also got Joey and Brian on the line as well, so they're going to be coming in as well at some point today. So just we'll see you guys in just a second.
We were playing it, but I guess not. So,
the commercial seems to have disappeared on us. I don't exactly know where they're.
You know what? Nobody really likes to listen to commercials, anyways. We'll put that in post. Let's screw the commercials, right? We'll do the show for free. Don't worry about
it. Sorry about that. I'm still trying to click through and find out where they are. They just all disappeared. But anyway, that's the beauty of having a live show.
All right, well, we're going to pass it up. We're going to go to our first guest. Joining us now from the Jersey Shore, somewhere in the New Jersey area. He is a metal detecting expert. He is the host of Detect America Live, president of the Detect America on Facebook, and just an all-around great guy. I'd like to welcome to the show, Mr. Frank Lopergolo. How are you doing, Frankie?
I'm good, guys. I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
We missed you last night. You were a little under the weather. I heard that you couldn't do your show last night, but you had your guys come in and do the show for you. And I got to tell you, I listened to the show. I watched it actually, and it was like the main teacher was out and the substitute teacher was in. I mean, it was just like chaos in there, guy. I got to tell you, Frank. I mean, the guys were playing video games. The little kid that runs around, he was shooting spitballs. I think the guys on the couch were getting lap dances. I really don't know what happened there, but
lap dances and video games would be a step up from when I'm out normally. So
no, but actually, you're lucky to have those guys there. They got a pretty big crew and a talented crew, and you're down there in your man cave and doing your show, and it's a really great show. But we're going to talk about that in a little bit in the show, but. Frank, well, let me ask you, you're a retired New York or New Jersey police officer?
New Jersey.
New Jersey police officer. And now you're in your different life. Are you fully retired, or are you semi-retired, or what's it like for a day-to-day with Frank?
In theory, the hopes was I was fully retired. I always wanted to play with ground penetrating radar. I had to justify the expense of buying a unit. So fully retired, went to semi-retired, went to I wish I was retired. During this time of the year, the winter season down here in Jersey, it's slow. I get more opportunities to get out and dig when the weather permits, and basically maintain equipment this time of the year. During the summer months, the machine goes in the back of my truck. And on one of the stops on my day, I'll maybe get an opportunity to jump out of the truck and detect someplace. But summer months were pretty busy. With the
so what got you into this? What got you into the business of underground penetrating systems? I mean, how?
I was what they call a specialist. I was on the specialist team for University of Pennsylvania, swinging the detector on some of their archaeological sites. During that period, I had the opportunity to learn how to read some of the ground penetrating radar data. So as we would assess a site to go out and determine what trends we were going to attack on a certain site, I would look at the ground penetrating radar data when we were lucky enough to get it in, and that's how I learned how to read it. So that became an obsession of mine until I could actually get one. So I got one and started doing this data myself, and then ultimately turned that into a business.
Now we're talking about these machines. They're not cheap, right? They're thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yes, stripped down basic unit that you can not really use commercially, but maybe use a little bit hobby wise is about $12,000.
Oh.
The ones that we use for DEP work, finding tanks and finding whatever, they're about $20,000, middle of the road.
Wow.
That's insane.
So you get all that clad you saved up, metal detecting, did that pay for that, or?
Yeah, I'm jarring that clad every day.
Now you had a really great experience because you were out with your penetrating machine, and you were asked to come out to Ohio and to try to locate a grave of a actual Civil War soldier. Can you tell us a little about how'd you get into play with that, and what was the outcome?
Sure. Sam Waters and the CWPPO, the Civil War Preservation Project of Ohio, they have an event every year where we go onto these Civil War trails that actually took place in Ohio, and we dig for the Historical Society, for the museums, whatever relics we come up with gets donated to them, and there is a long-running, rumor tale of a Confederate soldier who was killed on this raid that took place in Ohio, Morgan's raid, and was buried. Somewhere between the late 1800s, early 1900s, this guy's headstone was kicked up. The story that I uncovered was that it was while they were excavating for natural gas lines. The body was kicked up, the headstone was kicked up, and then vanished. So for a couple of years, Sam was trying to get me up there to check out a couple of spots and hopefully come up with what appeared to be, hopefully was going to be a grave site. And so this past year, I went up and detected, scanned with the radar, one particular site very, very well, and absolutely nothing. And that was supposedly the best option we had to find this grave. So I started poking around and talking to the property owner, who put me in touch with a neighboring property owner who said that he had a rumor of where this guy was from when he was a kid. He threw me in a four-wheel drive Gator, and I feared for my life for about 2 hours driving back into the woods. And lo and behold, in the middle of the woods was a memorial that was put together at some point in time over the last 100 years. But it was generally accepted that as all this was a memorial. It was built with the 20-ton boulders. There was a beautiful headstone on it, and according to the gentleman that I spoke to, he thought that this guy may have been buried in the area. So we hauled the radar up to this thing, and we scanned about 21 different scans from all different angles, and lo and behold, about 3 feet below this boulder was an ossuary where it shows an absolute signature of a burial there. So we're pretty confident that that's where this Tommy McGee, the sort of kind of name of the soldier, I'm sure it's not his real name, it's a name that was given to him, but that's where he rests and been resting the whole time.
Oh wow!
So the body was never exhumed and artifacts.
No. The only exhumation was probably when the gas company had hit him, and they were at least kind enough to take the body and move it to the side of this riverbed and created this kind of monument. And then over the years, the story had just got lost. It got changed, and like I said, it was accepted that he was not there when, in fact, that's where he is.
So when the body was moved, was it in a casket, or was just, the skeleton with the remains?
Yeah, to not to be gross, but
graphic.
What he can remember was that Tommy McGee was moved in bits and pieces.
Wow.
So at that time, when he would have been knocked out of the center of this stream bed, he would have been uncasketed in the grave for 50, 60, 70 years at that point in time.
Oh, jeez.
So there wasn't much. That's why the ossuary, the signature of the ossuary that we see is only about 2 by 2. It's a small stone casketed box, basically, under this memorial.
Huh.
Wow. Well, we just want to remind everybody, we're here live, so if anybody, we've got a live chat going on, so anybody has any questions for Frank, or Lance or Dave, or whoever you want to ask a question to, we're here for you. Lance will, if you got any questions come in, he'll let us know.
Right now, all I see is we got a couple people that are online. We got Eric Johnson that's currently sitting with us, and then our good friend Robert Hope out of England. He's on listening to us right now as well. But yeah, anybody who has any questions for any of our guests tonight, feel free to give us a call. We have a U.S. telephone number, so if you're international, you'd have to find out what the international dial is. But for anybody in the U.S., that's area code 920-455-5118. So we'll take anybody coming in. Just when we bring you on, just let us know your name and where you're calling from, and you can feel free to ask any kind of questions.
All right, great. If you have those commercials worked out, Lance, just let us know. I'll let them play through.
Finally found them. Yeah.
All right. Well, before we go to a break, Frank, I want to talk about Detect America. Now, this is a group it's probably one of the leaders of all metal detecting groups. I've been in this hobby probably going on my 5th year, and you guys do a great job over Detect America. I'm going to see a pioneer of the Facebook and the metal detecting community. Can you tell us a little bit how Detect America was formed and how long ago was that?
Well, the Detect America live show, we started off with the internet radio, and we're entering our 5th year now. I guess 4th year with the video and our 5th year overall. So right before that, 5 or 6 years ago, myself, Drew Wahalik, who's another guy on our show, occasionally. We were part of another show, and I'll leave the show out of it because it pops its head up occasionally. And we were personalities, so to speak, on that show. And the show kind of went to a dark place. If you didn't have the right detector, if you weren't, digging the right targets, then you were kind of made fun of, and this guy who ran the show was all about himself, not about anybody else. So it kind of drew a line for us, and he crossed it, and we decided that we were going to do a page and a show that was geared towards the newbie, bring seasoned guys on, guys that know their way around the hobby, and yet weren't there to bully the newcomer to the hobby. We started with 54 members on our Facebook page when we opened up the doors, and we're pushing 8,800 members now. And that's it. That's what it was all about. It was all about a safe haven for guys to come, no matter what you swing, ask questions about the hobby, get answers from guys in the know, and not feel bad about what you're swinging or what you're finding.
Now, tell us about a little bit of the crew that you have working for you right now. You're the main guy, the host of the show. I know you got a couple techies that work on the show for you. You got the guy that does the Facebook live feed stream. Just a little tip from what's his name?
That's Steve.
That's Steve. Steve, if you're listening, you got to get a few more friends. Because the more friends you got, the more views you guys are going to get at Detect America. So that's why I friended him, so I get to see his feeds. It's a great angle. You get to see different parts of the show. You can watch your show and also watch his feed. So I kind of like that aspect. But you're in your studio, and you got your setup there, and then you have a group of guys that would come on Friday night, and you got they call it the green room with all your couches there, and then the guys would come and show their finds. Are they part of your group too, or?
Yeah, they're basically our core group, the guys that we actually hunt with locally. Joe DeMarco, who always sits on my right, he's been with us pretty much since the start. He's metaldetecting.com. He's a local shop owner. And he's helped us out early on. We started giving out, having coin nights. We would do coin giveaways on the Facebook page. Joe helped us out with that. Joe is an encyclopedia of the inner workings of just about any metal detector. So he came on board with me, and then just other guys from the area, they started to come to the page. They started, call into the radio show, and that's pretty much how they kind of attached themselves to the show. And they all show up here on Friday night. It's basically a party here on Friday nights.
Yeah, it's just like you get a chance to get away from the house and chill out. It's a really great atmosphere. Kind of like seeing that. Sometimes I wish I can be on that. With you guys and hang out. On Friday nights. Seems like a great time. And you could tell you guys enjoy what you do. And the show really goes about an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's slated for an hour, and occasionally it'll run a little long. Depends on who's on and what we're talking about.
Yeah,
this is on every Friday night at 8 p.m. Is that Eastern time? 8:30 Eastern time.
8:30 Eastern time. It's on the live stream platform. It's on Roku, Windstream, and Apple TV.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys don't get any of that, I just go to his Detect America Facebook page. I click on right there, and I'm in. And also, if you miss it, you can always watch it again. Not live, but it's the same experience. All right, well, we got our commercials ready.
Yep. Yeah, we got them. I got two of them lined up right now.
I'm sure they'll be really happy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to continue talking with Frank. This is Dave D. along with Lance Goolsby, and you're listening to the Global Detection Adventure Podcast.
Helping XP users create an even better and more personal experience out on the fields using the XP Deus, head on over to xp-detectors.co.uk and visit the classroom and find out exactly all the settings and everything else that you can do to the XP Deus and learn how to use the XP Deus to its full potential. Our buddy XP Gary, he's the one giving a lot of the classes over there, and I guarantee you're going to love it. So head on over to xp-detectors.co.uk and find out exactly how you can get more from the XP Deus, or if you should buy one for yourself. I guarantee this is going to be something you're going to want to check out.
Black ADA are not only our sponsor, but they're also really good friends of mine. So what I'd like you to do is head over to www.blackada.com and see for yourself the wonderful line of advanced digging accessories that they have available on their website. Now, I know what you're thinking. Digging utensils specific for metal detecting are going to be way overpriced. Well, let me burst that bubble, buddy. Each one of their items are extremely affordable, so they could be bought by just about anybody. And there's a reason why they're considered one of the best digging accessories on the planet. Each one of their items has reinforced shafts to really thick welds that can really stand just about any abuse you throw at them. I have the Stingray, and I've been using that on a hard-packed field that has a whole lot of stones in it. And believe me, it's been tearing through all that like they were butter. And that extended invader is one of the greatest things that I have for open fields. There's no need now to bend over and dig a hole, then rescan it with the metal detector. I can dig a hole while standing up, and then scan the hole with my metal detector to see if I've got the object out. It really saves my old knees. So head over to www.blackada.com, and I guarantee you won't be disappointed with the objects that you see on their website. From sand scoops to shovels, everything that they got is some of the best on the planet. That's blackada.com. So as soon as we get done with this podcast, head over there. Don't go over there right now. Go over there as soon as you get done with the podcast. No, seriously, not right now, after the show.
All right, so we're back.
All right, beautiful. Frank, you still there?
I'm here.
Good, I'm glad you didn't run out on us. Frank, okay, now, you've pretty much used every detector that's out there from probably the inception of the detector that when it came in.
I'm not quite that old, so.
Well, I mean, the inception of, let's just say, from the last 20 years.
Yeah, we'll call it the Generation 2 detectors up. I've been a part of. Yeah, I wasn't around with Graham Bell when he was swinging that machine.
Okay, I was maybe misunderstood. No, you ran the CTX 3030, the V3i, the Mac Eraser, AT Pro, XP Deus. You ran them all.
Yeah.
Now, Did you just field tested these? Is there anyone that you consider a favorite? Can you tell us the difference between machines that are costing $300 to machines that cost $800 to machines that cost $2,000? The differences, between all those machines, and I don't really want you to come out here and recommend a machine, but sure. Let's talk about some of the machines that are out there. Some of your first impressions. Let's start off with just right up top with the CTX 3030. I know a few guys that use that, right. And I think probably one of the reasons why a few guys use that because it's a costly little machine. Does a lot of great stuff. But can you tell us a little bit about it?
There's no doubt about it. It's cost prohibitive. It's an expensive machine, and I get it. And not that Mind Lab will like me saying this, but for those people who are interested in that CTX, the good thing about the CTX now is that first generation is coming out of warranty, so they're starting to pop up now in a lot better price in the used market. But that was the game changer. Well, I won't say that. The game changer for me the past 20 years was probably White's V3i. It was the first real multi-frequency machine that I got a hold of, and that's if you're used to swinging a single frequency machine, as most people in the world are. The multi-frequency, though it's going to have some limitations with recovery times and things along those lines, this see-through technology that a multi-frequency can give you is amazing. I mean that was the game changer for me. The being able to go into mineralized soil, black sand, things along those lines without having to do a whole bunch of adjustments or blanking out iron or things along those lines. That's the one thing I really like about multi-frequency machines.
Well, that machine runs about $1,400, brand new. I guess if you want the wireless headset, you're going to add a couple $100 to that. But again, that's probably the high-end machine. Now I think probably I use the V3i myself, but I'm also learning the XP Deus, which I'm really starting to like too. But it's a learning curve for me on the XP Deus. One of the machines that I really recommend to people just starting off would be the AT Pro. I know it is a machine that costs about $500-$600, but you can get a lot of accessories with it. What's your opinion about the AT Pro, AT Pro Gold? From Gary. If
you're going into this hobby with a budget, the most bang for your dollar is going to be that AT Pro. The AT Pro is a very solid, good single frequency machine. One, first and foremost. Second, you're getting a waterproof machine as well, and at a price point that a lot of people can afford. So I highly, guys that come to me and ask me about going with that AT Pro, I highly recommend that machine because, granted, you may have some choppiness down at the beaches. The beaches are their own animal. If you're not prepared to deal with a lot of noise in your headset, don't dig the beach. But the AT Pro is really a lot of machine for the money that you're spending.
Which have you used the XP Deus yet?
I have. One of the first machines we gave away on the show was an XP Deus. So I won't say I'm very fluid with the XP, but I've used it for a couple months. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
very quick recovery time with that XP. And then like I get yelled at from my sponsors a lot. No matter what machine I use, I have criticism about just about every machine that's out there. I have some with the XP. I have some with the CTX. I have some with the Weiss machines as well.
Right, we got some of the, you see a lot of posts on Facebook where they're talking about other machines, and everybody thinks their machine is the beast. I mean, that's what the main word. My machine's the beast. My machine's better than your machine. And then another thing that comes up is my coil is better than your coil. Oh, you need this giant coil. It'll pick up everything.
Crazy. That is the topic that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
What is it about these coils? And some people they do not understand that just because your coil is larger, you put it on a cheap machine, it's really not going to get it's really not going to do what it's supposed to do except for covering ground. What is your opinion on that?
There are, again, not going to mention names. We're not here to promote people, but there are a couple coil companies out there that actually make coils that I have seen some difference with. if this coil, whatever new coil you're buying, aftermarket coil you're buying, if it is not phantom powered, which means if it's not actually stealing power from the metal detector to power the coil, the difference is going to be so negligible it's not worth the hundreds of dollars you have to spend. What makes a coil go deeper is the size of the coil, yes, but it's the difference from your transmitter to your receiver side of the coil. The farther apart they are, the deeper your machine will go, and also the more fine detail you're going to lose. So when you have a 17-inch coil that has the transmitter and a receiver right on top of each other over the center bar, like most butterfly coils do, you're not gaining anything from it. The transmitter and the receiver are the same distance apart. So other than pretty colors, maybe a really cool spiderweb design, you're not gaining anything. And these facts that some of these companies are spewing about, how much more depth I'm going to get out of this coil, it's just not there, guys. It gets me to no end that the money that people are spending on aftermarket, especially if you're using a Deus, a V3i, a CTX 3030, if you're using a machine that you spend a lot of good hard cash on, remember that these are companies that have spent years and years and years developing their coil for that particular machine.
Yeah.
Why somebody who came out with a coil 6 months after the machine came out is going to do it better is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of the things I'm really excited about Deus. They're releasing this year, they're releasing 2 brand new coils, but they're going to be more of a specialty coil. So hopefully in the next couple months, me and Dave are going to be having one that we're going to be able to test out for Deus.
Yeah, but now let me ask you a question. Those are coils that are coming out from Deus, correct?
Exactly, directly from Deus itself.
And that you got to have a lot more respect for a coil that the manufacturer of somebody who spent 10 years developing a machine now develops a new coil for that machine. I'm going to feel a lot better about going out and purchasing that coil than I am going to a foreign country and buying one that came out 2 months after my machine came out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because you're just starting off. I mean, some of these coils are $350. I mean, you can get a starting detector for that much, and
absolutely.
Yeah. And if you're paying $350, you better be doing what it says it's going to do.
And, there are a couple coil. I don't want to just slam the coil companies as a whole. There are coil companies out there that are making a very good coil. They're making hot coils that are giving you more sensitivity just by putting them on your machine. The vast majority of them aren't.
Mm.
So it's basically you're looking like you take your coil, got that separation between the transmitter, and if you draw like a triangle between the separation into a point into the ground, that's as far as you're going to get.
Well, yeah, kind of, sort of. It depends on how the coil is wound. The shape of that winding will make a difference as you separate that coil. But just to give you an example, in my line of work, and it's not a company that sponsors us or anything, so I'll mention the name. Commercially, Fisher has a machine I use called the Gemini 3, the dual box magnetometer. And it is the most basic metal detecting technology that's out there. The only real difference is the 2 boxes are about 3 feet apart. And now you're looking at a metal detector that's going to hit targets 3 feet to 10 feet in the ground.
Oh, geez.
You're going to lose fine detail. You're not picking up coins with that machine.
No.
But you're gaining that kind of depth.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine using that anyway. I need a backhoe.
Yeah, we look for tanks with it. We locate tanks and large pipes and things along those lines. We're not necessarily trying to find that KG2 in the ground, but we're definitely using it for larger sized items.
Yeah, definitely.
No, so you're basically you're from the New Jersey area, and are you close by? I take it you live close by the beach because you spend a lot of time there.
Yeah, I'm about 25 minutes from the beach.
Do you usually hunt the same area of the beach, or do you just go up and down the coast of the beach, or what? And when does your beach season take place?
Well, it depends on who you ask, because if you ask the guys in the room with me that dig the beach, like one of our crew, Joe Farrell, this guy, and Gene Hogan, these guys live at the beach almost 365. They're there. I got pictures of them there in a blizzard. I tell these guys, I'm going to meet you at the beach, but I'm not showing up till after May 30th. So generally my beach season runs from April. I'll go out there as the temperature starts warming up, and I'm done probably a couple weeks after Labor Day. unless there's a severe storm. If the beach is ripped up, then you'll catch me out there. I'll go out there and hit it up. That's because these nor'easters remove layers and layers of sand, so it's nothing to go on the beach. And after one of these severe storms, you can still pull silver coins up off that beach if it removes enough sand for you.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Any big relics that come off after from a shipwreck or anything that you know of that once these big storms come in?
Well, years ago, there was an old shipwreck off the Jersey coast called the Cynthia. That's a 300-year-old ship, and that many years ago, that a storm kind of revealed that. We pull what we call ship copper every day off that beach, and it's just copper sheathing, and we know that this stuff is a couple hundred years old. But it's basically beach trash. We don't see a lot of it. We don't get a lot of. There have been reals pumped off. Now I'll tell you this quick story, and I got to be a little bit vague about it because the guys that dig this site will kill me. But about 6 years ago, after a couple bad storms, we have a real problem with the beach sand eroding away. So the Corps of Engineers will come in and they'll pump up sand onto the beach. They'll replenish the beaches. And about 6 years ago, at one of our South Jersey beaches, this dredge hit a wreck and pumped up hundreds, if not thousands, of coins dating back to the early 1700s. Gold, silver, wow. Just a ridiculous amount. They were just pumping out of the sand pump like you wouldn't believe. Oh. And a few of our guys, one in particular who shall remain nameless, scored probably a couple hundred of those coins. I managed to score about 4 or 5 because me, like an idiot, I was teaching a class for the university out in Gettysburg area, so I didn't get a chance to hit it when they were pumping up on the beach. But that's the kind of thing. There are wrecks off the beach. Occasionally there's a real pulled up off of our beach. I pulled a cart-cut real off of the southernmost tip of our beaches. But generally speaking, the guys up here that are hunting the beach we're hunting the bling. We're doing the gold rings, the silver rings. That kind of stuff pays for, the toys. I pulled 2 years ago. I had a $1,200 clad year. I pulled $1,250 of clad off the beach.
Wow.
So,
well, speaking of, go ahead, Frank.
That's okay. It's about the summertime is about, for me anyway. It's about how much liquid assets I can pull off the beach, as opposed to that allows me to spend my winters and falls in the woods digging the old stuff.
All right, well, we're listening to Frank Lopergolo. He's with Detect America, and you're listening to the GDA podcast. We're gonna take a break here. We're gonna get
we actually kind of got a good little segue that we can do right here. We got 2 guys that are currently standing on standby. They're both the winners of the first and second place winners of the Global Detection Adventures Find of the Year contest. And once we get back, I think we'll go ahead and meet both these guys, and then we'll come back and talk with Frank a little bit more. So we'll be back with everybody in just a moment. Stand by, and here's some words from our favorite girl, Kimmy.
Hey, Global Detecting Adventures, Siren Kimmy here. I'm on the road, so don't mind the road noise if you hear that going on in the background. I'm on the road to a new destination. I'm going to be heading out into some woods, and it's perfect time to test out a new item that I have purchased for my dig bag, and that is walkie-talkies. Lots of times I'm out in the woods and I don't have cell signal, I don't have any communication with my team, and sometimes we can get separated. And so I thought about it, and I thought a good idea is to kind of go back old school a little bit, get some compasses and get some walkie-talkies so we can keep communication up in case we do get separated out in the woods. So I'm going to test those out today and also do a little bit of coin shooting. I'm hoping to see if I can find some coins out here in this old property. So wish me luck out there. In the meantime, get on over, check out Girls Rock Metal Detecting. I have been doing a weekly vlog every Wednesday if you want to check out what's going on in my world. And also this week coming up, we have the winner of the Digger of the Month, and also the Girls Rock Metal Detecting video is coming out. We do those once a month, and this video is coming up this week. So get on over, check it out, and as always, if you want to know anything that's going on, you can go to girlsrockmetaldetecting.com. That's got links to my blog, my vlog, and the whole 9 yards. So that's it for this week, you guys. We'll see you in a couple weeks, and have a great time out there digging. Take care, and don't forget, rock metal detecting.
Hey, the show is brought to you by XP Metal Detectors. Head on over to their website, xpmetaldetectors.com, and take a look at their beautiful machines, including the same exact one that Dave and I are using, the XP Deus. I guarantee if you guys switch over, it's not going to be something that you're going to regret ever. So head on over to the XP Metal Detectors website, that's xpmetaldetectors.com, and check out what they got and experience a new adventure.
I know. Every time I listen to that commercial, it sounds like I had my sexy voice on. So I'm trying to be that guy trying to sell off the XP Deus with a sexy voice.
This is Barry White, right?
Well, anyway, we got two really great guys online right now. I want to go ahead and introduce everybody to Joey Ortega, who's currently sitting up. I believe it's in Connecticut. He was the #1 winner of the Global Detection Adventures Find of the Year. And we've also got online with us, we got Brian Gorby, who was our second place winner for the Find of the Year. Joey, Brian.
Hey, Lance. Hey, Dave.
Good. Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
Good day, gentlemen. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Pleasure having you guys on. Now, Brian, you found when you were your submission for the Find of the Year was actually a very rare minted gold American coin. Can you give us a little bit of detail about that for those who might not have seen it during the contest?
It was an 1862 gold dollar that is known as a princess, dollar, Indian princess dollar. And because the year is the year of our Great War, the Civil War, a lot of those coins disappeared. They were either hoarded or just disappeared and melted back down. So there's not so many of them in circulation.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And the one that you had, it obviously looked like it might have been lost maybe as early as 40 years ago. Because it looked like somebody had drilled a hole and turned it into a necklace to kind of bypass that law that got passed about turning in gold at one point, except for jewelry was the exception, correct?
Right, Roger. In the 1930s, they had the gold law where all Americans, it was illegal to own or possess gold unless it was jewelry. If it was any kind of currency, you had to turn it in. But so the people, to get around that law, they were turning currency into jewelry. And so it is not uncommon to find, older gold coins and older, gold, money, that has been made into some kind of jewelry, so it could still be used as some kind of currency or something for trading.
Yeah, I remember my mother when I was growing up. She used to have a brooch that was made out of I think it was a late 1800s gold coin that her great-grandmother, or my great-grandmother, had given to, just basically passed it down through the generations. I have no idea where that went to now. But
so when they changed that law, they changed it back, obviously, so you could hold gold coins. So the guys that kept it and didn't melt it down or didn't make it into jewelry, just kind of hid it away, it's still legal then, right?
Yeah. It's still legal. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, all they did was they just canceled the law. They created I can't remember. They read a new law that canceled out that law, so it made owning gold. And this was, I think, it became legal again in 1972. Was it?
Yeah, I believe you're right. It was 72.
Yeah. So as of 1972, it's legal to own gold again, and so people started tearing out the walls and bringing all the stuff back up. And speaking of gold, we got all the way from Connecticut, we got Joey Ortega, who had one honking ring that I really want to talk about. How you doing, Joey?
Fine. Thank you for having me, guys.
Now, your ring... I've talked with you offline on this for quite a while. They believe that it is a replica ring of a Spanish galleon treasure, possibly?
Yes. Well, I brought it to 4 different jewelers, and 2 of them did mention that. Now, keep in mind, those two were together in one jewelry store. So, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. So, I mean, is there actually still a possibility that this actually is a Spanish galleon treasure?
Probably not. You have to remember, a lot of the Spanish galleon stuff you'll find will be up south in the Florida area.
Yeah.
Even my good friend Gary Drayton, one of his rings that he found several years back ago, there's no comparison to what I found. But no, I suspect it was lost in the beach when the pavilion, as I mentioned to you before, a pavilion, 110-year-old pavilion, was demolished to build a new pavilion. And so somewhere along the line, it must have gotten lost there. So it got disturbed, and someone like myself, came upon it.
Yeah, I just happened to find it. No.
Yeah. Again, these guys, again, the jewelers, for every, like I told you before, for every 10 jewelers you bring a jewelry to them, you're going to get 10 different opinions.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, again, take things with a grain of salt, but again, me personally, I think this is probably something from the early 20th century.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the emerald itself is just under 2 1/4 carat.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And everybody tells me this might be once of a lifetime, at least in this area.
Yeah.
On the Connecticut shorelines here. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're like me. You didn't go and get it priced. You went and actually tried to get some information on it. They already gave me an average appraisal, which I told you, but I rather not. No.
Announce it on the air. But it's once in a lifetime find for me personally. So I do wear it occasionally on a weekend.
Yeah, something like that is just a moment of pride, and I think that you being chosen as the find of the year was the absolute correct decision. I think that ring is absolutely beautiful, and if you've seen the size of the stone that's in that, 2 carats is not a small stone.
No, it isn't, and I almost dropped to my knees when I found it. This particular site, I knew in advance. This happened several years back ago when they demolished the place. Actually, they demolished it in 2 phases because the original pavilion was just like a box house, imagine, built in the 1900s. And so over time, they added a section like the East Wing and West Wing. And so they demolished the East Wing, and to save the second phase will be the remaining center and West Wing. But I have found many silver coins there, old relics from those eras. And so it was it was something to behold.
Yeah, I bet. That's really something. And just like you said, it's a once in a lifetime find. Absolutely.
Yeah,
fantastic.
and it's 22 carat, and it's size 9.5, and it weighed in 9.3 grams.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a workout ring right there.
It's a chunker for sure.
Well, you guys took the first and second place of the Global Detection Adventures Finds of the Year. We should be getting, hopefully, it's only taken a little bit of time to get the packages to you guys because a lot of the items are coming here from me in Germany. And for some reason, I don't know what happened with the German post office. And like I've been telling you guys offline, it's on the way. It should be arriving at Dave, and then once it gets to him, it's going to just be a couple days. Yeah, one Dave is enough for me, so I don't need a couple Daves. But But those should be heading on the way to you real soon. And Joey, you've already gotten the AT Pro, which was actually purchased by us and through Randall Garrett, who is the owner and operator of a store that we advertise quite a bit, which is BowieCountyMetalDetectors.com. So if anybody's looking for a metal detector, make sure you head on over to BowieCountyMetalDetectors.com and check them out. So
absolutely, and I had the pleasure of chatting with Randall Garrett, and fantastic guy.
Yeah, he really is. Him and his wife are absolutely. They're really, earthy people. They're absolutely fantastic. Really good. Really easy to get along with. Yeah, absolutely. So, thank you both for coming on. This has been absolutely fantastic. Keep up the great work. I have a feeling that 2017 is going to be another great year for all of us. And I mean everybody metal detecting. I think this is going to be metal detecting's year this year. I don't know why I got that feeling, but I just have the feeling. I think this is going to be a year I find gold.
It gets better and better every year. Thanks again, guys. I do appreciate it. And Brian, and congratulations, and everyone else. And for those out there who are listening right now, thank you for your votes.
All right. And thanks again, Brian. Thanks again, Joey. And we'll see you around. All right. Dave, we are going to be coming back to Frank. We got a couple minutes left, and but we do have somebody that would like a shout-out. We definitely do know who this guy is. Jimmy Nicola is sitting out there, and he's listening in right now, and I just wanted to give him a great big hello and howdy from us. And he's been on the show before as well, so make sure you guys...
All right. Well, let's go over to the little Butch Holcomb, and then when we come back, we're going to talk to Frank. I want to talk about the differences in the metal detectorist and the archaeologist, and what are those differences, and how can we kind of come together? And I also want to talk about his relic cleaning machine that Frank is going. We're also going to talk about his benefit for the kids that he has at the end of the year. And so let's take a little break, listen to Butch, and when we come back, we'll be with Frank Lopergolo of Detect America. So you're listening to the GDA podcast, and we'll be right back after this.
And just to let you guys know, there's actually two Butch segments going on right here. The first one to explain exactly why the audio is kind of bad this week. So just pay attention, and you'll hear it.
I'm sick. No, shut up. I don't mean sick in the head. I'm sick. I have the bug. The bug. I hate having the bug. The bug makes us want to stay in bed instead of metal detecting. The bug tells us not to dig in the muddy goop during a rainstorm. The bug tells us to use our heads, stay inside, don't go metal detecting. I hate having the bug. When I was younger, I'd waste no time in giving the bug the finger and going detecting anyway. Rarely was I so sick that I could not make it through at least a little bit of metal detecting before going prone on the ground. Double doses of extra strength medicine would keep me swinging, often while carrying on conversations with the hallucinations that those medications sometimes caused. But that was then. I was younger then. This is now. I just turned down 2 invitations to visit sites where the relics and coins were virtually jumping out of the ground and screaming, "Take me! Take me!" at the mere sighting of a metal detectorist. There is no medicine that would even make me consider detecting such a site in this condition. Anything that strong has been banned long ago. So to the young, ignore the bug while you can. Laugh it off with triple strength over-the-counter drugs. Watch out for the hallucinations and swing till you drop. If you need me, I'll be under the covers with the bug, crying uncle, and begging for mercy. This is Butch Holcomb, folks, of American Digger Magazine, still looking for America. As I returned from the second annual American Digger Low Country Civil War and Artifact Show, held in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, it occurred to me that a good portion of our listeners have never been to such a show. I'll try to describe it. Imagine walking into the largest museum you've ever seen of dug and non-dug artifacts from ancient times all the way up to World War II, and discovering that much of it is for sale at a price that you can afford. Imagine over 100 vendor tables and booths, as well as award-winning displays assembled for 2 days for your viewing pleasure. Imagine a heavy focus on America's Civil War, seeing all the artifacts dug with metal detectors. Imagine every metal detector available for sale at that venue. But sheer imagination is not enough. Look at these photos that I'm holding in front of the microphone. Check this one out. You believe that? And this one. Oh, check this picture out. And you won't believe this photo from the show. You have to see that to believe it. Wow. It just occurred to me that some of you, if you could not see those photos just now through this podcast, unfortunately your system is hopelessly outdated and you should call your provider and demand better service. But until then, the next best way to discover what this show is all about is by visiting America Digger Events on Facebook or Google us for the website. But the absolute best way to find out about it, come see us next year, January 6th and 7th, 2018. Yeah, I know it's a long way for some of you halfway across the globe, but this show is within 2 miles of historical Charleston, South Carolina, and it makes for a great vacation. So come see us next year. And folks, this is Butch Holcomb, American Digger Magazine, still looking for America, but I think I may have found it in Charleston.
That's Butch. You can tell he's really sick this week. He's been he came back from that exact same show, and he had to stop off at the hospital. He thought maybe he had pneumonia because it was so bad, and ended up being nothing, thank goodness. But being that sick and just not being able to work all the audio and the electronics and stuff, I definitely know how that feels.
Yeah, you can hear that Vicks vapor rub machine in the background.
Yeah, it's the Vicks vapor rub. It sounded like. He had all kinds of stuff turning off on his computer, and everything was just going at once. It was pretty funny. Totally not like Butch.
All right, well, let's get back to our interview. Frank, are you still there?
Oh, yeah.
Checking in with Frank. All right, great. Frank, all right, now, you actually worked with archaeologists. You work with universities into archaeology. Tell me about your experience as far as working through universities and the individual archaeologists that you come into contact with.
Well, let's start off with a little story. I was doing a dig for a university on pretty hot piece of ground that was directly associated with the Civil War. And the archaeology department, who was getting everything that we found, was picketing us at the edge of the property line.
What?
Yeah. So for the longest period of time, longest period of time, we were, we were the devil incarnate when it came to the archaeological community. They wanted nothing to do with us. What sort of turned that around in recent years, at least for the colleges that I've had the luxury of working for, was the fact that when we would send a group of detectorists out to a field that was slated for the archaeological team, and they would come back with 2, 3, 4 times the amount of relics and potentially good targets as they would have had in 2 years of digging, then it started to change a little bit. The University of Pennsylvania, a couple of the other universities that we work with, one down south, have really changed their tune. They've opened up to us greatly, and they're definitely using guys with machines now to, if nothing else, to trend, what we call trending the property. And that would be going out and just flagging every target that you get. And then you can step back and look at the flaggings, and you can tell where the human trends were on these properties. And then when the archaeological community will come in and work those sites, they're much, much more productive than simply taking 10 acres and trying to sweep off the surface with a toothbrush.
Yeah, it's a lot less destructive to it as well.
Yeah, for
sure. Who gets first dibs on this? I mean, all right, say you're out metal detecting and you come upon a site and it's really hot, and you decide, hey, I'm gonna detect this until I milk the whole land. When does an archaeologist come in, and if they find out about it, can they overthrow and say, hey, you got to go, we're in now?
Well, the sites that I've worked with the University of Pennsylvania were sites that they brought me in on. So if you are associated with a true sanctioned archaeological dig, then resign yourself to the fact that you are keeping nothing. Every single piece that you get is going to that college. If you're working a site that somebody leaks the details of, and the archaeological community comes in and deems it historically significant, then pretty much you're done. And odds are, in today's age, they're not keeping you around to swing your metal detector. Odds are they're getting rid of you. But slowly but surely, there are a few of these colleges that are incorporating detecting. I know Montpelier is doing it. My problem with Montpelier is, and I don't want to speak badly of the project. Guys that have taken the course speak very highly of it. The educational portion of it is awesome, but that particular site and sites similar to that, they're bringing detectorists in almost like they kind of had to as the answer to people crying and moaning about it, and they put you on a 30 by 30 site. A plot of ground, you get to dig 5 targets, and generally speaking, you're pulling 5 square nails out of the ground, and then you're gone. And the next group of detectorists come in, and you spent the money you've spent for the class to dig 5 square nails. The colleges down this way, the universities down this way, are, I'm not going to say they're better, because most of the time you're simply swinging your machine and you're flagging targets. But on some of the digs that we've done, I've actually had a crew of students out there that have been out there and digging, trending the ground with flags, digging the targets. The archaeologists will come in and will show these kids how to safely reclimate a target from the ground, and it's really turning into a really good scenario. What they're doing down here is phenomenal, and people are enjoying it more, and detecting and archaeology is really coming together. But it's really few and far between to find the schools that are doing that.
Now, if you would like to get on board with an archaeologist team, what is your first course of action?
You have to check out your local colleges. Most of these universities are not advertising this at all. Generally, it's called a specialist program, and they'll bring you on. They'll put you through their little training scenario. The only reason I even got into this was because I happened to be digging with one of the professors years ago, who said, I think this might be a good idea. Let's try it out. Put me on the site, and it worked wonders for what they were doing. Check with your local college. Check with their archaeological program. Some of these colleges will have an opportunity to have you come in, learn the ropes, and then possibly swing as a specialist. But literally every single university that funds their own program or has a program funded is going to be different. Expect roadblocks. Expect you to be frowned upon by that group of people. But at least if the college is opening their doors to you, you're setting a trend for what may come down the road. I can't promise you that every college is going to welcome you with open arms, but there are more and more of them there are.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I know that's one of the issues that we have over here is that we can't get archaeologists, and they still kind of give us a little bit of the guffaw and everything else. You know, they brush their shoulder off on us. But you know, I think around the world, it's slowly starting to be more accepted. As long as it's legal metal detecting and everything else, people are being a lot more open toward it. And I'm, for one, am absolutely fantastic. And Dave Sadler, actually one of our friends, he's done a great thing by actually making an online magazine that incorporates both sides of everything together, which includes metal detecting and archaeology. So yeah, anybody check that out at Archaeology and Metal Detecting Magazine. That's archmdmag.com.
All right, Frank, I'm going to be the pissed off metal detectorist. Okay, I get a permission on a site, and I find and I'm going to get permission on property that's owned. It's so I'm detecting it, and I find a hot spot. Next thing I know, the archaeologist is they're coming over and telling me, "Oh, we deem this site historical, and we're kicking you off." Now, where do they get that right to do that? So are they from the government, or how are they able to do that?
Well, there's a couple different scenarios that could happen. First of all, if you're digging with permission, okay, then that property owner is going to be the only one that can kick you off or give them a supervisory position over what you're doing. If you're digging without permission, in a college, the archaeologists aren't just going to walk in and say, "Okay, this is our site now." It literally has to be sanctioned, and if the college doesn't own that particular piece of property, they're going to get it deemed historic by the state that you're in, and if the state deems it historic, you're done. Or if it, like I said, if it's with permission and the landowner agrees to the terms of the archaeological group, then you're done.
Okay, so if it's an historic site, it's deemed historic,
right?
And then there's no digs going on. For example, this spring I got a historic site that was deemed historic, and I got permission from the landowner to come on and metal detect. That's okay?
Yeah, unless the landowner has given all of the historic rights over to a university or an archaeological group, yeah, the landowner is the sole 100%. He's the law on that piece of property. If he gives you permission, that's your site to dig until he changes his mind. But I will tell you this: we have a forest down here that is open to motorcycling. It's open to camping, fishing, big time hunting. It's 1 million acres of extraordinarily historic land. I mean, I tell you, it's really, really, really historic. A lot of Revolutionary War stuff in there. Huh. Everybody is pretty much allowed to do whatever they want except for metal detecting. We are not allowed to do it. They deemed it historic, and then when we took it to Trenton, we took it to the state capitol to fight it. They came out with a document that said, well, even though many of these areas are not being actively dug by the archaeological community, we feel they're historic and something might be found there someday. So, boom. And that was good enough for the state of New Jersey, and that keeps us off the property. So you're not on an equal playing field when it comes to historic in your state. They always have the upper hand, and unless you have a private property permission, and I would absolutely say a written permission in your pocket, that can be pulled out from under you.
Wow. All right, now you got me all riled up.
I know. Don't even get me started. That's a whole nother topic. We went round and round for 2 years with petitions and lobby groups and trying to get this, and at the end of the day, all of the eggs were in our basket, and they still said no to us.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just going to end it right there. But let's talk about your relic cleaning machine. And when we announced that we're doing the podcast with you, I got a comment from one of our gal diggers, and you're the relic cleaning. She called you. You have your own small relic cleaning machine that you developed. Can you tell us something about that? And it's science, but you kind of compacted it for the smaller coins. and just give us a little information. Machine.
Okay, the machine that I have, I build and I sell is called, we call it the Ugly Box. It's an electrolysis unit, and we developed this while we were doing work with the University of Pennsylvania. And to you coin lovers out there, the amount of coins that we slaughtered trying to get this thing right is mind-boggling. But I'm gonna make the statement and correct you right now, because I get the most guff from people because you're not don't clean your coins and you're destroying the coin. First and foremost, this is a stabilizer. This is the primary function of this thing is to stop the breakdown which is taking place on either your coins or your relics from having spent years in the ground. When you pull a coin out of the ground and it's got that little flaky kind of powdery residue coming off it, or there's this cancer-looking rust that's on these pieces of metal relics that you're pulling out of the ground, that's going to increase exponentially as it hits the air. And then what this machine does, it stops that from happening. It'll arrest that process in its tracks. And then further electrolysis is going to allow you to clean it, color it. If you wish to plate it, if you want to make it display worthy, you can do that as well. I think I'm losing your audio here, guys.
Oh, well, I still got you really strong.
Okay. And we developed it over 25 years, attempting to make it safe. So you're not frying your coins. If you're using right voltage, if you're doing it slow, like we say, you'll never destroy a coin or a relic. If you follow the instructions, if you do how you're supposed to do it, you'll never hurt anything. The worst thing that you could do with a coin is maybe you'll discolor it, and you can always address that after the fact. But again, it's not for cleaning and coloring. The primary function is to stop this thing from breaking down. Once you've run a relic or something through this thing, it's indefinitely stable for hundreds of years probably. The breakdown will have stopped.
Yeah, not that you've tested how long it'll last.
No, yeah, right, exactly. Right.
But yeah, I've talked to you about that. I have what could possibly be a hammered coin. I have been trying everything I can to try and get the incrustation that comes onto the coins over here. Over here, we got a very heavy calcium deposits in the ground. So when the coins get wet over time, they start building up this huge crust of calcium on them. And I can't do anything to get them off, and I'm afraid to use anything to try and scrape or do anything to try and get this incrustation off of it, because I can't tell what it is for a coin. And without being able to see the coin itself, it's just a chunk of unknown metal for me.
Well, and that's the thing, that's one of the biggest arguments that will make the people that are hesitant to use electrolysis process. Yes, okay, let's say hypothetically, let's say this is an extraordinarily valuable coin. The way it's sitting in your hand right now, it's worth nothing. Mm-hmm. It's worth zero.
Yeah.
So I tell everybody, we call them, down here we call them cookies. They develop a crustacean around them. The electrolysis won't even penetrate this crustacean. It's magnetic. It's not, it won't conduct electricity. And I tell everybody, if it's a coin, if it's a relic, it's different. You can always find a spot that you can scrape. On a coin, we take a nail file, and we turn the coin on its edge. And you just run a bead line scrape just through the crustacean until you are just exposing a scratch of the base metal on the coin's edge. Not on the face or the obverse or the reverse, just on the edge. Put your alligator clip at that point. More than enough to get the electricity flowing through it, and eventually you'll start to see that crust start to fall apart on it.
Yeah, good. Because this is, I talked with you about this as well, because I was hoping to get my hands on one of those, because I've heard so many people, you can look online and you can see all these different things where you can use like a phone charger to create an electrolysis machine.
And it is. And if you go on our website, I think I sent you the link to the video. It's called Safe Basic. Because I get accused a lot, you're just trying to sell the boxes. Well, yeah, I'm kind of trying to sell the boxes, but I put the formula to build your own safe, effective electrolysis unit at home.
Yeah.
Without costing you a dime. And yeah, you can use phone chargers. The only thing I will tell anybody that's using an external power pack is that keep the voltages low. If you're going over 12 volts, you're probably going too much. But even more important than the voltage is the amperage. You want to keep that thing well under 1 amp. I love 250 milliamps, 500 milliamps. It's great. It's not a super fast process. You don't want it to be a fast process.
No, not at all. Not at all. I've seen, I built one wrong, it was about 1.5 years ago, and I was glad it wasn't any kind of a coin that was worth any kind of money, but it just started chewing that up, and after about, I think it was 15 minutes, I came back, and it was in pieces on the ground, in the bottom of the jar.
If you reverse the polarity, if the polarity is attached to it wrong, like I said, if you do it right, you'll never, ever hurt a coin. But if you do it backwards, it will degrade that coin very quickly.
And that's why I was happy when I heard about the Ugly Box, and I got in touch with you, because I feel that you can create a electrolysis machine yourself, but you don't have the proper instructions. You don't have the proper care and everything else. But you guys create a electrolysis box that comes with instructions that helps you accurately and perfectly use the machine to the best of the ability. So to me, yeah, sure, of course you're going to try and sell it, but to me it's the fact that I'm getting something that I know has been proven and tested, rather than trying to build something in my cellar. Not knocking on anybody that does it themselves, but I'd rather have I guess you could say, the security of one that I've gotten from somebody that knows what they're doing more than I do.
Well, even the guys building them at home, the whole reason for that video was, you can pull a phone charger and the wires are marked. I mean, if you know what you're looking for, the wires are marked positive and negative. But I can tell you that more than half the times that I've pulled apart a phone charger to build a unit, they're marked wrong. The charger works fine plugged into your phone, but when they're built in a foreign country, the wires are attached in reverse. The positive wire is attached to the negative pole, and what happens is they may attach them right for use as a phone charger, but when you're cutting them apart and attaching them to build an electrolysis unit, and you're attaching your electrodes the way that it's marked, it's easily, more often than not, this thing is reversed. So the whole reason for the video was, if you are dead set against purchasing one, and I get it, guys, I know, listen, if you can build it at home, you build it at home. But if you're going to build it at home, at the very least, check out that video. It will tell you how to test your phone charger to make sure your poles are correct. It'll tell you how to create a safety circuit to divert some of this amperage away from your coin. Everything is geared to introducing the electricity slowly to this coin, which is basically just kind of recharging the molecules inside that coin, and the molecules are what holds the coin together. When you start to see that stuff flake apart, it's because the molecules have lost their charge. There's no bond there anymore. The video will teach you, at very least, teach you how to do it safely at home.
All right. Well, make sure that we put a link to that video up on our Facebook group as well.
All right, Frank, before we let you go, I want to talk about some of your endeavors and what's going on with you in the future. I also want to ask you about the end of the year Christmas for Kids that you benefit that you have. I know it's already passed, but just so people know what's going to be happening at the end of the year, can you tell us a little bit about that and some of the other things that are going to be happening for Detect America that we can look forward to this year?
Our charity, our in-house charity, is called Detect America Kids. When we started this thing, for whatever reason, we had a large number of families of parents of our autistic children that were in our group. And one particular child had a metal detector that was basically his safety net. He used it every day. He would walk around with it, and his mother said it was a great tool to keep this child focused. When it broke, we got together, the guys in my core group here, and we bought him a machine. And from that stemmed the DA Kids. It started off as a charity for basically kids with life challenges. It has since moved to pretty much every kid in our group, even kids out of the group. We take donations. Doesn't matter if it's 10 cents or $10. Doesn't matter what the donation is. And then at the end of the year, we send them something to do with metal detecting. This year they got coins, they got headlamps, and this year was 100% funded by the DA Kids group charity, which is awesome. Around October, we post a GoFundMe page for DA Kids. And it's not just money. If you have old digging tools, we go around to some of the schools and we do classes and take some of these kids out into dirt and teach them how to use the machine, and they have a great time. We accept donations of digging tools, of you get an old detector, old something or other in your closet, and you're willing to send it to us, we'll fix it. I don't care if it works or not. We got a shop here. We'll put it back together. Anything to do with this hobby that we can use for these kids, we'll absolutely use it and put it to really good use.
No, that's fantastic. Absolutely.
What else you got? What else you got going on with your group? Are you going into any? Going to be seen at any major hunts or rallies or
we got
conventions or anything like that?
Good bunch of our guys are going out to Dirt Digging in PA hunt, which takes place in May. Some of us will be heading down to a Florida hunt. I do a dig every year up in New Hampshire. A great site. And then we are in the beginning stages of our second Detect America hunt. We had our first one, that was like 3 years ago. But we're putting together we call it Detecting Pizza. It's a day or 2 days out, metal detecting, pizza, and whatever. And a good portion of that goes to the DA kids. And this year, hopefully, if it all comes together, it's on an extraordinarily old piece of ground, a lot of historic stuff on it. So we are working towards that and putting the show together. We got some great guests coming up this year for the show, and should be a productive year.
Good.
All right. Well, you guys listening to Frank right now for the last hour and a half, this is probably one of the main reasons why we asked Frank to be a part of GDA. Just the passion and the values that he instills on metal detecting is the kind of person that we like to involve with our team core here at GDA. And Frank, I really appreciate you coming on the show. You're a great guy, and all the things that you're doing for this hobby is extraordinary. And anytime you need something to promote or you want to talk about it, you know where you can just give us a call and we'll get you on ASAP. And for everybody who wants to get in touch with Frank through either the Facebook group or the website, Frank, you want to just list those areas off real quick so people know where they can find you?
Sure. You can reach us. You can always get us to the Facebook page at Detect America on Facebook. The email that's most likely to get through to one of us is datvlive@aol.com. And then the website is www.detect-america.com. And through there, you can definitely reach one of us here, for sure.
Super. All right, Frank, I'll let you go. Again, we appreciate you having us. We appreciate you coming on the show with us.
Thank you, guys.
And it was really great talking to you. Got a plethora of information from you, and it's you guys got to check out their show on Friday nights at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you can go right to their Facebook page, you can log on right there, or you just go to any of the areas that he talked about, and you can get all that information. Frank, beautiful. Thank you for joining us again, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. All Thanks for coming on, Frank. I'll talk to you soon. I want to get in touch with you about one of those ugly boxes.
You got it, bud.
All right.
All right. That was Frank Lopergolo. He was the key man from Detect America, and we were fortunate enough to have him on our show today. And I hope you guys, all the information that he gave you that helped you in some way in any one of our segments. Just a great guy, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
I knew he would be a great guy. You could tell just by his mannerism, just from Facebook and his show, he's just genuine. All right.
He's definitely.
Before we go, talk a little bit about what's coming on for this year, 2017, for the Global Detection Adventure Team Facebook page and just the website. Right now, we are working on it, and it's in its infancy. It's the Global Detection Adventure Network.
Yep.
Is a network. Lance, why don't you tell us about that?
We're officially a network now. We have, pretty soon, we have a second show that's already come on. So if you go to global-detecting.com, you'll notice that there's two places that you can click to go into now. It's not just the Global Detection Adventures podcast. There's also the one that's coming out. It is also starring me as well, but this is part of my other hobbies. This one is called... just a second. It's even brand new to me. The name only came out today. But yeah, it's called Holocron of the Wills. It's a Star Wars talk show with myself and two other people, John and James. And so that's coming out. And then we also have another one, which is going to be made by the son of Brian Gorby, which is Zachary Gorby. He has a YouTube channel, and he's... reviews video games and everything else, and now he's making a new podcast which we are going to be hosting, and that's going to be over video games review and technology information. So we're really branching out into a whole bunch of different stuff, and this is really shaping up to be a great year for us. We're no longer just GDA, we're the GDA network.
Yeah, we're hopefully maybe in the future we can get the Detect America show into the network, and the Butch Holcomb show, American Diggers, into the network, and just one-stop shopping. And you can come and listen to all the podcasts anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
We're also going to go. We're just started off. We're in full swing of the end of the year Best of Find contest 2017. We're our third week in, and we hopefully that you've seen the post, and you'll come and join and send your post to our Facebook page and qualify for the end of the year contest. We're going to have some great prizes, a bigger package than we had this year, so we're looking forward to that. Also, we're going to have a video award. We'll be viewing your videos as you send them into our Facebook page, and we're going to categorize them, and we're going to put them into a sort of a film festival style. And we're going to have a sort of a Academy Awards theme, and we're going to pick out the best awards for the different categories for your videos. The GDA store is coming. Not only are we going to have hats and T-shirts, we're going to be thinking about some metal detecting equipment and accessories, but we're going to go on some of the high-quality items, too. Our team will be receiving pit crew kind of shirts. You'll see sort of the racing shirts that they have out there for the pit crews with all the logos of the team members and our sponsors. And there'll also be a soccer, or you say in Europe, football style jerseys for Team GDA. We're just getting some of the logos and all that put together, and those should be out in about a month or so.
That's fantastic. I can't wait to see those ones.
Me personally, you'll be start to see some more videos from the V3i sweeper, but you'll also see a new endeavor for me. It's the Express detecting with Deus Dave. This will be the XP of XP Deus I'll be using out in the field, and it's going to be short and decisive, and you're going to just show what I see out in the field as far as digging in parks. The XP Deus works really great in farm fields and in Europe. But one of the main things is trying to learn how to detect in trashy parks, and I will be going through that with you in my new series called the XP Express. We'll also have, let's see, we got Lance, you got some endeavors coming on for yourself. You talk about them a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get back out into the fields with my Deus. It's just been really hectic. We've had some really cold, some absolutely cold weather here. I mean, we haven't had a whole lot of snow, but the problem is that the ground has been so hard. We've had probably a good 6 to 8 inches of just solid frozen ground. So I haven't been able to get out and digging, and even my Black Ada Extended Invader was having problems getting through it. So that's one of the things that you can look out for, is that hopefully within the next month or two, I'm going to be having some new videos coming out. Not to mention, I also got a new video series coming out, which is called Toy Quest, which is a video series of me going around Germany and meeting with private collectors. It's not going to be a regular release show, but it will be coming out a couple times each year, and I'll be going to different collectors of Star Wars and Star Wars memorabilia, and talking with them and interviewing the people and letting people get to know people who share the same kind of another one of my hobbies, which is Star Wars collecting as well, and see them and what they have, and try and help people and let them know exactly what something might be worth and what it's not worth.
And another thing that's coming back too is the original Global Detection Adventure World Metal Detecting Show, where we take the best of, we go around the world, and we get the little clips from your digs, 30-second, 20-second clips. We go around the world. It's a half-hour show, so that'll be coming back. I will also be going out to do some GDA member hunts, so if you want to hit me up or PM me, and we'll come out to your site. We'll do some hunting with you. We'll do a little video, Facebook Live, member hunts. And my big project for the summer is I have permission to hunt a property that there is a legend that a Civil War soldier buried gold there. And we will be going to that site this summer to look for the lost treasure. We'll be having paranormal activities that will be going on there. There's ghost involved, so we'll have that. Should be a really exciting feature.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. Yeah, let me know if you need some ghost hunters out there. I know some people over in the States. Actually, one of them lives up in Chicago. He might be able to help you out. But
all right, well, but before we go, I just want to give a few shout-outs to the Lady Diggers of GDA. I just want to mention a few names. Allison M. Walker, and our new captain, I would say, is Sonia Harshman. She's our two-time winner out of the last 3 weeks in the Find of the Week. Aggie A. Hall. Actually, we had an update. There's a sighting with the face of Aggie now. For years, we never knew what she looked like, and now you can see it on her updated profile. Gail Osler, Trish Large, of course, our own Siren Kimmy Price, and Tressela Renee. And I want to congrats to Deanna Bratton, Poland. She found her first gold nugget. This thing is sweet. It's about the size of a dime.
Oh, wow. So,
congrats to her. Well, we never really got to hear from Patrick White, so we'll have to find out what happened with his time capsule exploration.
He's probably still out there digging stuff up. I know he just loves digging, just period.
All right, well, that's about it for us. I'm Dave D with the Global Detection Adventure, and I will hopefully talk to you guys in a couple weeks. Lance Goolsby, he's our Magic Man producer and extraordinaire. Lance, I'll talk to you later.
All right. It's going to be a 3-week break. We're going to try and get this offset with my night shift, so in that way I can spend a little bit more time talking with you guys. But we'll see you guys out on the field. Until then, let's dig it up, y'all.
This has been a production of the GDA Podcast Network.